Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Giuseppe at Boomtown. Gonna give it about another minute here. I'm seeing a lot of people trickle in, so just be patient with us, and we'll get going in about a minute. Also, this will be recorded. Anyone who registered for this event will get a deck and a recording, whether they attended or not. So if anyone on your team missed it, you can share with them, or if they registered, they should get an email by the end of the day with all that information. Shoot me a personal email if you need it sooner than end of day. I'm going to give it to marketing, and they're going to turn around and send it out. All right, just giving another 30 seconds here. All right, let's get started. So thanks again for joining this morning. I'm excited to go over a lot of new products that we've seen do really well across all of our different partnerships. What's most important to me is that we provide great information to our partners, and we provide information that will help them sell and help them obviously do well in the payments industry. And these webinars are mostly built for our ISO partnerships, our payment acquirers, and helping them and their teams actually get out there and sell new products or get information on existing products that they might already be selling. You should see my screen. It says Boomtown. Feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. I might not be able to get to them right away, but we'll be answering questions as we go on. And we have a few guests today. We have Natalia from Swipe Simple. I have Marshall from Manglement. I'm going to be going over Veloce POS, which is a really great solution for full service restaurants and QSR. It's probably actually one of the only solutions I've seen be able to compete with Lightspeed, Toast, Upserve, a lot of these big, FSR POS. And then we're going to do some updates on Point and kind of where the company is and some of the new features that they have. But real quickly, I know that we have a lot of new people joining the webinar today, so just want to go over what Boomtown is. Some of you get confused because we do a handful of things. So again, thank you for joining if you're new, and excited to have you as a new partner of Boomtown. We provide remote support for ISOs. We do 24/7 blanketed white label services. We do field services. So basically, through our software, our partners can dispatch a technician anywhere in the nation for cabling, hardware setup, network setup. We do Class A support now for a lot of our ISOs as well. And again, this software that we've built makes it easy for our partners to follow along. So as we're assisting and helping their merchants, we make it a white labeled experience, and they can follow along with that software. We also have to make it easy to support your merchants with email, chat, SMS, and some other fun initiatives. And you can see some of the partners that we work with. We work with a lot of ISVs, banks, and ISOs. The reason that we have so many different ISO partnerships, again, are because of these services, but we also started the Smart Terminal program, which helps our partners sell smart terminals a little bit more rapidly with sales support, merchant support, and we give them access to a lot of these programs at a lower minimum than going direct to the ISV. And that's been very helpful for a lot of our partners, whether they're an acquiring ISO or even just a small ISO that maybe is just selling terminals here and there. Really excited to have Natalia join us today. Natalia is from CardFlight, which is the owner of Swipe Simple, and they just released Swipe Simple Terminal. So Natalia, are you there?
Yep.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. All right. So I'm going to pass you the panelist role. I know that you wanted to share a few things, but really excited to have Natalia. Their team has been absolutely dominant in the mobile terminal space, and they just came out with this. Just came out with Swipe Simple Terminal, which is on the PAX A920 and A80, and we've seen this do really well because of all the versatile software that's on this device and how it's really positioned for more than just the mobile merchant. It's now positioned for that SMB brick and mortar countertop, merchant. So Natalia, I'm passing the panelist role. Thanks again for joining us. Excited to kind of go through what's working, why this has been so dominant in the payment space, and why your partners have been so successful, or I should say our mutual partners.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. All right. Thanks for having me. So, I've been with CardFlight for the past 6 years. We started out as a mobile payments company, and we really expanded into different products that offer your merchants an easy-to-use mobile app, card not present solution, and now smart terminal. We're used by over 65,000 merchants today. Super excited about Swipe Simple Terminal. Swipe Simple Terminal is, the Swipe Simple software that it runs on iOS and Android devices, integrated with the PAX A920 and A80. When you're out talking to merchants, it's not really about who could get you, the best rate. It's about how you're going to manage your business better. You have to put your merchants with a provider, with a solution that it's going to be hard for them to switch. Not only because it's difficult from a terminal rip and replace standpoint, but reporting. You're bringing in value. It manages all your inventory. So really that back office reporting and features is really going to make that merchant stickier, and they're not going to switch to a different provider. So you're taking that all-in-one terminal, but you're also powering it with back office component, manage your inventory. What items are selling the most? So you're really giving them a better way to manage their business. So Swipe Simple Terminal is super easy to use. This is an example of the A920. I love it because, that merchant sees something shiny, sexy, and they want it. It is a little more expensive, but you are getting all of that components of that back office, multiple users, you're getting text, email, receipts. And then we also have the PAX A80. The PAX A80 is in between that dumb terminal and that, the PAX A920. This is great for merchants who don't need it to be Wi-Fi or cellular data. Maybe they're not on the go and they just want it at their countertop, but they want it to do more than a Verifone or a dumb terminal. It has that keypad, so they're used to it. It works with Ethernet and Wi-Fi, and it's mostly comparable to a price point of a traditional terminal. So I do want to talk, about how sleek this looks, how easy it is to use, whether it's on the A920 or A80. This is kind of a no-brainer. Why would you place a merchant with a traditional terminal? Yeah, it's cheaper, but is that going to be better for your merchant long term? We want stickier merchants. So think about when you're out talking to your merchants, what is going to make them stick? Today, which is pretty exciting, if you go on the PAX Store, we're their number 2 downloaded application. So, merchants are using this. We're boarding, couple dozen a day. We just released this last fall, and we're really getting great traction with it. We also have, so not only are we, just that smart terminal, we don't only have a smart terminal offering, but we also offer, our cash register, bring your own device, and then merchants selling on the go. Let's talk about Out Your Computer. It's the merchant experience. So, we have to think that merchants are not just going to be using their terminal to view transactions. They want to be able to have a back end where they can really understand, key items that are selling, which users are selling the most. And here's just kind of an example of all the features we have and all of the features we have on the Swipe Simple. I think a pretty powerful reporting tool is our tax reporting. So we have, you can change different tax rates depending, where they're located, and they can choose it at time of sale, and it gives a whole report of that. We also will report on top customer tracking as well. And think about how many people don't want to print a receipt. No problem. Swipe Simple Terminal also does email and text receipt, which is pretty powerful. I would definitely, try Swipe Simple out. Place it with the merchant, see how easy it is to use. You're not paying extra for these features. I think, it's really hard when you're explaining to a merchant all these great features, but then you have to go in and say, oh, wait, you also have to pay for this. You also have to pay for this. This is an upgrade. It's not an upgrade. You're getting this all-in-one solution with Swipe Simple.
So Talia, let's talk about some
Joey,
things that are working well. And and just so everyone knows, we went through this kind of fast, as we know a lot of you want to get back to selling today. So this will all be sent to you. You can go through it with your team. Natalia's put together some really good slides. We also have this matrix in here as well. It's also in our sales hub, but in the matrix, you can go through, as you're seeing here, and compare what the actual terminal has. But, just from a personal standpoint, this is what I see working. The hardware is inexpensive. The PAX devices are very affordable. They're at TPG. I believe they're at POS Portal as well. And with that, you can actually enable a demo. You just download the app, and it's in the Google Play Store or the App Store in the iOS. And with that, you can actually go out there on your phone, or you can go out there with your terminal and show merchants how it works. There's inventory, so you can do kind of catalogs and items on the smart terminal. As she was showing, there's invoices, virtual terminal. There's all these great features that we've seen with other terminals that you have to pay more for each feature. Where with Swipe Symbol, it's all in one. And we saw that they started with the mobile device that was kind of the square killer, and now they have this register that can work on the iPad, but the terminal is obviously making their team a little bit more versatile. And when I go out there and I'm helping train a lot of these agents on how to sell the device, I'm always helping them position the hardware for what type of merchant they're speaking to, right? If they're speaking to a food truck, then probably the mobile version is probably what I'd start talking about. But if they're speaking to a cafe or a small retail, I definitely start talking about the PAX A920 because it looks really good, and it has, again, those inventory management features, the cloud reporting, the ability to actually run your business from home if you need to. And again, all of that without having to go pay, for additional features. And I've been working with the CardFlight team pretty hand in hand on a lot of what you guys are requesting. So we have some fun things coming down the road, but just, really want to get you some good insight on what this looks like. And feel free to write in some questions. I'm going to start reading them off to Talia here. Can the A80 and the A920, Talia, can be used for customer-facing terminal? Is there a customer-facing aspect of it? Not necessarily, right? Or do you just turn the screen around when they're ready to sign and do the checkout?
Yeah, you would turn the screen around.
So I imagine in the future there will be some different options like they have with their register, but for right now in the PAX terminals, well, what you can do is basically just turn it around as you've seen on other mobile devices, and they can just sign and then email themselves a receipt or do the digital interface. Please show the units we were talking about. So can you let's just scroll back. Actually, I can do it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take the presenter roll back, I think, and then give me one moment. We were showing it, so I do apologize if you do not see it. Make myself presenter. Show this window. Okay, great. The terminals we're talking about, the A920 and the A80, just to kind of go back to it for you. These were the register devices that are on the iPad. They have cash drawer. They have the receipt printer. You've seen, a lot of you are familiar with the receipt printer, and then the mobile devices on the right. But this is the PAX A80, excuse me. This is the smaller device, more affordable. It's basically a step up from a basic terminal. And then the A920, which is a little bit more slick, a little bit more robust, a little better looking. And both of the A80 and the A920 have the ability to sign on the screen. I see somebody asking that. I do see, can Swipe Symbol add surcharge to a transaction or cash discount? Working with our team on some, obviously, some future initiatives. Yep. Do you have
we are looking
at
all. Yep. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We are looking to offer that, and we should have more information in the coming weeks on that.
And then is a tip option supported with the first data processing?
We do support, you're able to collect tips.
And I know that inventory is a big piece, and someone just asked how robust is the inventory management. Can you talk a little bit about that and I remember using it myself, and it's really easy. You can go and build your menu, and it's not going to does enough for a small cafe, small retail store to get by. Can you talk a little bit about the inventory feature?
Yeah, so you can add the inventory one at a time on the device, but you may have a merchant that has 100 items. So it's really, it's easier to go on our back end and upload it using a CSV file. We give you a sample CSV file, super easy to use. They can have the merchant fill it out, the count, and then you upload it in real time. It will show those items because everything is cloud-based. As those items are being sold, it will take that inventory count.
Okay, perfect. And then someone asked about pricing. Guys, you can get all your hardware pricing from TPG, Phoenix Group, and then also POS Portal. Feel free to reach out to me if you want reseller pricing. If you're not already a reseller, I know some of you are resellers of other products through Boomtown. If you want to become a reseller of Swipe Simple, that's why we're showing this. You can be a reseller through Boomtown, sales support, operations support, merchant support, like we do with the other programs. I'm not seeing any other.
And I do want to say something. You know, I think the program that you guys offer with Swipe Simple is super powerful. You know, reps don't have time to install. They don't have time to do all of that support. They just need to sell. So I think you guys offer a great program, and we've seen it work, and we've gotten great traction with you guys offering that program with Swipe Simple.
Appreciate that. And our program is really designed around keeping you guys out in the field selling. We take on the support, the activation training, keep your merchants moving. So that's really why Boomtown is positioned so well, next to the CardFlight team. Natalia, thank you so much for joining. I'm not seeing any other further questions. Again, guys, this whole video, the webinar, all the deck, everything will be passed over to you by the end of day in your email. So if you have any more questions, I'll make sure that you have the CardFlight team's contact information, but you can always reach out to me. I work hand in hand with Natalia and her team every single day, getting the information and making sure that we're feeding that information to our partners. But Natalia, thanks so much for joining today. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so we are going to move on to Manglement. Manglement is a salon and spa software. I'm really excited about this one because it's done so well with our partners. It started on the Point device. It is a full-on, you can go online and you can basically set up a website for your merchant, and then their customers can go there and schedule their haircuts, schedule salon and spa services. It interacts with the terminal, and it's kind of a mind-body killer. I know a lot of mind-body. When I was out in the field selling, mind-body was something really hard to sell against. It kind of had all these all-in-one features for the salon and spa industry. So it's really exciting to talk about Manglement for our reseller channel, because now you actually have a really effective tool that can help you sell to a new vertical that maybe you were a little shy about at first. I know personally I was shy about it. And today I have Marshall joining us from the Manglement team. So Marshall, are you there?
I am. Hello. Good morning, or moving into afternoon for some of you. So I'm Marshall. I'm the head of sales over at Manglement. Thank you for the intro, and thanks, Natalia. That was cool to learn about Swipe Simple. I'm here not only as the head of sales to give you guys some insight on why our product is a pretty easy sell. I'm also your ideal customer. So I'm a salon owner in San Diego, and I found Manglement through Boomtown. So I was looking at MindBody, about to transition over, got the price on the Point terminal, found out that it had to be locked to MindBody, and just thought to myself, there's got to be like something else here. So I actually started searching the Point terminal, which led me to the Boomtown website. And it may have been you that actually said, I don't know much about this software, because this was 2 years ago. But go check it out. And so I did, and I moved my salon over. And the biggest piece at that point was, and I kind of mentioned it in that slide, like, what are salons looking for? Well, they're looking for something you mentioned, Natalia, like a really sexy integration, like something that makes it easy for our customers to pay us, which really isn't out there. At the time, it was very clunky. We either still had Swipe, there's a lot of solutions that didn't have chip readers still. And so this was the first one that really had that, but then they also had all the marketing services built in that I didn't want to do anymore. The really nice piece about it was I purchased a Point terminal, I signed up with a new payment processor, yet I never even spoke to that payment processor. I only spoke to the account executive at Mango Mint. It felt so seamless and I loved the solution. So basically what I'm sharing with you is what's awesome about this is I can give you a couple tips on who the ideal salon or spa is. You can go after them, get them booked on a demo with one of us, and we'll do the hard work of really diving in, finding out if they truly are qualified, and then closing that and really just passing it back to you at the point at which it's time to order that terminal and get them set up. So if that's something interesting to you, I'd like to kind of just dive into some of those key differentiators and the pieces that make us a bit different. So like I mentioned, people who want online booking that isn't terrible. If any of you have ever booked an appointment online, for me, at the point at which I have to remember a password, I'm out. I'm gonna either call the business or just go walk in and see if they can take me. So that's one piece. And then a business that needs to manage their entire schedule, inventory for retail, back bar. So we do offer for spas as well, even a med spa, as well as storing client data all in one place. And then they want to have that integrated payment solution. So really that's your entry point, is looking at that. When we talk about, salons or spas, this is easy because this can really narrow you in. So especially for those of you who are smaller, maybe a single person, you could literally go on Yelp and have 10 targets to go look at today. If you want to hop to that next slide, this is going to show you what to look for. So when I'm training a BDR to go out in the field, hop on Yelp, type in your neighborhood, type in salons and spas in your neighborhood. Are they independently owned? Do they have less than 10 locations? We can support multi-location, so if it's a chain, as long as it's independently owned, that's good. Do they already have a website, regardless of if it's from 1992 or not? Do they appear to have at least 3 service providers? And are they already using booking software? So you mentioned MindBody. Well, this is a day where a lot of people are sticking with software that they don't really like because either one, the pain of switching over, or they just really don't know what else is out there because they haven't been approached in person. Salon owners are used to reps coming into their business. You'll rarely get a salon owner on the phone by doing a cold call. So this is really the ideal business. Like I said, pull up that Yelp map, hop into that, in a 3-block radius, you can generally hit 5 salons, which is why this industry is so fun to kind of zero in on. And you can pop in and just ask them curious questions like any good salesperson would, find out what any of their challenges are with their current booking software. The only time that I would say this isn't qualified is if they've still got those paper books laying over on the desk, because it is 2020. So if they're still attached to paper, that's not a really fun job to convince them that software is better. So those are the main qualifiers. And as long as they hit all of those, you can generally get them on a demo, and I'll be able, or one of my account execs on the team will be able to move them through the demo and get them into the software, and then just pass it back to you to close the merchant account side.
And guys, take advantage of this. They're really good at it. They know the industry really well. I'm not a specialist on salon and spas, but we've passed a lot of deals over to the Mango team, and they've helped those sales reps close. I have one sales rep in Texas who told me that he literally had just basically started a conversation, passed it over, and every deal has been closed by Mango. Obviously, him retaining the payments and also getting a spiff on the software. One really cool fact I was looking into personally, Michelle, is that with these qualifying leads and what you guys are going after, the average merchant that you guys are closing is typically processing over $30,000 to $50,000 a month, if not more.
Yep.
So that's huge for you guys doing payments, because that's a really great revenue, and taking advantage of software to obviously get retain a client for a long time, but also get great revenue out of it. So one thing I'm absolutely loving about Mango is you can kind of target your sale and also get really good payments, not these like small one-off merchants. You're looking for, Class A merchants that really do well for you.
Yeah. A couple things about our software as well is we really are deep in listening, going through our product board monthly and launching what our customers ask for. So you can kind of guarantee on that end too, you're passing someone into a software that's really championing championing those salon owners, me being one of them, so I wouldn't expect anything less. So some of the things that we just launched that people have just been asking for, which is really going to help us expand into the spa space, or you're seeing a lot of lash bars pop up, blow dry bars pop up that are independently owned. So we've got the integration with MailChimp, which is going to in real time sync their client data into MailChimp, as well as Waiver Forever. So that's when somebody wants their customer to fill out a waiver and sign it digitally. They're able to do that previous to coming in, and it'll load right into their client file. We've got time clocks, which is a huge one. If you're in California, the laws for salons and spas are changing rapidly. And the nice thing is that's a huge piece right there. If you're in California or any state that's, got really kind of smacking down on the laws regarding employees, we've got a lot of knowledge on that. And oftentimes that's even a hook to get them into a demo. And then we're launching memberships. So this is the big one for the spa space, lash bars, blow dry bars, again, that are independently owned. And really excited about that. And oftentimes just that alone, like we've got a really great membership solution launching, we'll get them in the door to explore the rest of the software and see if it's a good fit. So with that, go ahead.
No, I was going to say membership, that's a big piece. Do you think that membership is going to open up other verticals in this area? Being, I don't know, like maybe gyms or yoga, or do you think the software is still really just focused around the salon and spa and not necessarily, because memberships is kind of a unique tool that a lot of merchants are asking for in the health space, right? So just trying to figure out what your take is on that, or what other types of verticals this might open up, or are you guys just focused on opening up more salon and spas specifically with this feature?
Great question. Right now, simple answer to that, only salons and spas. And the reason being, it has nothing to do with the membership feature. It's the way that our program books. So currently, that's why we say salons and spas only, no yoga, no fitness, because our system books one-on-one. So that's one customer to one service provider. Whereas, and that's a big differentiator between, say, MindBody, where you can book multiple people, so a whole fitness class on one instructor. So not to say that in the future that is a vertical we'll explore, but it is not right now. So that kind of helps make it really cut and dry, especially for salespeople. You can laser in on, let's look at salons and spas that are independently owned, that are booking one-on-one.
Okay, perfect. And a question that came through is, does Manglement have pre-authorization so I can book with my credit card online and then it would maybe have a cancellation fee, or they'll just charge me when I get there? Where are we with pre-authorization in Manglement?
Great question. We do. However, that is supported currently through Stripe. When we onboard and train our salons, for example, I looked at my processing from last year. I process around $1.5 million a year at my really small studio. And 1% of that was card on file. Like, we avoid it like the plague. And the reason being, it's better to have the card present. So we train our people to use that just as a backup if somebody no shows, cancels, etc. But generally they're always using the swipe, but it is available because salon owners want it. It's like their security blanket. And we are actually exploring different ways of doing that, but currently that is offered through like a Stripe API.
And talk to me about independent contractors. Someone asked me, like, are these independent contractors, do they like Manglement? What I've seen work really well is typically the owner of the salon uses Manglement, and then all of the contractors are on the same program, right? They're all part of that that subscription. Is that right, or am I saying that wrong?
That is correct. If you're in an area where either you're in Los Angeles, where people don't care about the law, it's a fun thing, or, and I say that because legally in California, each independent contractor should be a sole proprietor and be completely independent of the entity that is renting them space. That said, that's not what we see. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West. They're like, this is what's easier for the customer. So it is easier for the customer to have one place to go for booking everyone, and it's a lot cleaner looking. That said, we do have a lot of independent stylists that really are kicking butt, and they want that high-end experience of booking online and the payment solution. So we do bring on a lot of single service providers, but like I said, in the qualifiers, 3 employees or 3, contractors that are working together in a space is best. What you don't really want to go after are those like solo salons where each person is actually in a physically independent suite. Those are going to be a little bit more difficult, and generally they're going to seek that solution if that's something they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the monthly cost might be frightening to those independent groups. I believe, what is the monthly cost as of now, and what is it compared to MindBody? I know MindBody is really expensive, but they have a huge, take on the marketplace. So what is the pricing?
So our pricing is very different because rather than being based on, 3 tiers, the pricing is based on an entry tier. So you enter at $95 a month, and that's to manage up to 200 appointments. From there, it goes up $40 for every 200 appointments. Point of reference, I have 4 stylists at my salon. So it's your kind of basic studio salon around 800 square feet. And we are processing about 300 appointments per month. That equals about $30,000 a month in service and retail. So just so you have kind of a point of reference. And we're only 60% productive. So there's room for growth there. So if we have somebody that's 20 stylists, we have a big salon you could look up in Boulder, Colorado. Actually, you can reach out to me after this and I can send some more like resources so you can see who that person is. But it's called Voodoo, and they do 20 stylists. They're processing in a month, they're probably hitting 1,500 appointments per month. So if you do the math, they're going to be closer to 255, I think, somewhere up in there to 315. So it really depends on how hard the system has to work, which we found people really like, because someone who is doing 3 stylists, maybe 215 appointments per month, they feel that they're getting the full value. They don't have to compromise features to get a better price. So that's the biggest difference, is regardless of what pricing tier you're in based on your appointments, you get access to all the features of the platform, all the integrations, the memberships, the packages, all of that.
And so if the $95 a month is intimidating to you, that's a perfect example of where you should use Marshall in your situation, where you're going out there, you're like, oh man, this salon is awesome. I know I can start the conversation. I'm going to get in contact with Manglement and let them know, hey, Marshall, I'm going to go out there on Wednesday. Can we schedule a demo with them? Their team is really awesome at it, and they'll help you close it. I was actually in Boston recently, and I think it was right on Newbury Street, which is obviously a popular street in Boston and a high-end street. And one of the salons there was using Manglement. And it just shows you, in like Boulder, Colorado, where I went to school, and in Pearl Street in Boulder, there's just these high-end salons where I would have never gone in and looked to even try to sell payments there if I didn't have a software like this. So again, you don't need to be entirely an expert or specialist on it, but you can just go start the conversation, which is really great. Michelle, does the Manglement software have the ability to do commission payouts for the stylist?
Absolutely. So this has been kind of my one-stop shop, what's enabled me to move into working with Manglement, because it's become so easy. I have my commission structure, my time clocks all set up. So every 2 weeks, actually right after this call, I'll pull one report, I'll plug it into my payroll provider, and payroll's done. So we can do sliding scale commissions, straight commissions, commission on retail. The system is really customizable, and that last piece is we will support that salon in a complimentary onboarding and really hold their hand to get all of that set up. Let me see. Aside from that, I want to, make sure that you guys have my contact information, because one of the things that I will happily always do is hop on a call, hop on an email. You can reach out to me with lead information, as well as if you want to get on a demo yourself, so we can get you that link so that way you can check it out and kind of dive into it on your own. Oh, did we?
Hey everybody, give me 1 second here. I lost audio. I'm not sure why.
No worries.
Marshall, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Tanning salon, spray tanning. Can you book a room instead of a stylist? Talk to me a little bit about that.
We do support resources. The challenge here, and we've been talking a lot about this because we're going to see that, is oftentimes the salons, tanning salons use these timers where they like set a timer and they want that to integrate into their software, and that's not something we offer. The other thing is most tanning salons, if that's their like specialty, there is software that's like very specific to that. So I say in this scenario, if our goal is to push sales and to really move through that, I would stick with your traditional salon and spa where it's actual service providers. That said, we can support a resource. So say I had someone recently say, we have 2 service providers, but only 1 set of magic healing crystals. And that was not a problem. We were able to assign the magic healing
for sure.
crystals to whoever was booking it. So we can support it, not the ideal fit, however.
One question I'm getting right now is about the processors. So because you guys are on Point right now, if your selling point is all the processors on Point that are compatible, guys, I know that they're working with some other hardware right now to get it out. It's just Point was the launch hardware that they started with. So if you're a reseller through Boomtown and you can process on Point, you're good to go. I don't think there's any restrictions. I believe it's TSYS, WorldPay, Elevon, and then with Rapid Connect, we have the first data integration. Let me see here. Do you get agents referral fees? Yeah, absolutely. So agents will get referral fees. They'll actually set up an agreement with you guys directly. So if you're doing well, they can maybe become more of a reseller rather than a referral, but absolutely get the processing, get the referral fee. I did get a question on, do you guys do Spanish demos? Is anyone on your team Spanish speaking at Minglement?
Some hablo español. I'd say we have one of our customer success managers will hop on a demo with me. I've worked my way through a few of them, and I'm actually twice a week now in Spanish class, making that easier. So I'm glad you asked that question because it is something I'm actually working on. But currently, we don't, like, it's not like a selection you can make, but if you reach out to me independently, I can support you with that.
And then cash discount, I know you get this question all the time because in this pool of partners here, this is like what they're all about. I don't think you have cash discount today. Anything new on that or service fees?
That's not going to be something that we will support within Mangomint. Not to say that I haven't helped some people independently create that workaround in whatever way works for them, but it's not something that we will ever have like supported on our end. I also have some customers that actually worked with whoever I referred as, or whoever picked them up as the payment processor, and they are not using the integration because that cash discount was so important to them, to where they're using like the external app on the Point to do it at the point of sale. So we do have some people that are open to that.
Yeah, I think it's a different, if you look at MindBody, like it's a different clientele. I know that a lot of you will want to debate me on that. Let's get on a call and let's yell at each other. But I don't think the Manglement clientele likes cash discount. I don't think you walk down Pearl Street in Boulder or Newberry Street in Boston and there's cash discount offering. It's different type of world. But again, always happy to get into a large debate with you guys on that. Again, yeah, somebody just asked if you missed it. Don't worry, there is this recording and this deck will all go out. Is it on Vantiv? Yes, it does work with Vantiv WorldPay because it's through Point. And then I'll also share Marcel's contact information. Again, right here, I have her email on the screen. Any other questions, guys, feel free to have them come through. What we can do, too, is also an email, Marcel, of like I said, the recording and deck, but also what I'm going to do is have a training with you specifically on the software. And in that email, everybody will have another webinar that's specific around the training for Minglement. So we can get you all on there and get a little bit more information to you. Is there a demo version for the I know that you've had work. It's like my thing is this, guys, if you're really motivated around this, absolutely, they can get you a demo version on a Point terminal and we can go through what that looks like. There's some great videos that they have that is really easy for the merchant just to see in like a 30-second to 60-second span on what this actually looks like. So definitely, that's a big piece. I just send it over with almost the introduction email, right? If I'm selling to a merchant, I'm just gonna have that video in there so they can see it.
Yep. So reach out. We are working on like a little back bar or a back end where you will have your own login. So that will be launching soon. But in the meantime, reach out to me, Marshall at mangomint.com, and we can connect on a demo and get you set up with a partner agreement as well.
Rochelle, thank you so much for joining today. Really appreciate it. And obviously, I'll work with you directly to get that that training scheduled. But appreciate you taking the time, all these questions. Really excited about Manglement and how far it's come since we started working together, and a lot of great things to come in the future. So thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to the one of the last subjects of today, which is Veloce POS. I'm going to have also a webinar that's focused specifically around Veloce, because there's a lot to go over. It is actually a POS that is available for FSR and QSR, so full service restaurants, quick service. They just closed MTY brands in Canada, which is over 7,000 locations, so it is robust. It helps you compete against really, I'd say really competitive POS in that space, like Toast, Upserve, NCR, I believe NCR Silver. It actually is a good replacement for Aloha Micros. They've done extremely well. Their software is pretty straightforward. It's easy to use. And some of the key features that I'm really excited about, well, it is available. They can get you in Canada and the US, but table management, back office management, mobile and online ordering, integration with delivery apps, built-in reservation software, intelligent printer routing, kitchen bump screen, employee management, promotions, and flexible menus. These are the key features. I used to sell Breadcrumb, which is now Upserve, in San Francisco before we started Boomtown. And so these are the key features that a lot of the high-end restaurants were looking for. I'm going to give you some contact information here in a moment on how to get going with this program, but really excited about this because, Clover is a great product, but it's not really good for a full-service restaurant. Again, happy to argue with you on that. I grew up in a full-service restaurant. My father had restaurants that I worked at almost every single day growing up. I know what it takes. And I'll tell you that, Clover doesn't do really well for beyond maybe a few station or a small restaurant. But when you're actually getting to, I have a bar, I have a patio, I have a deck, I have a catering, I have online ordering, I have mobile delivery, and you're here in San Francisco, you're in New York City, you're in Chicago, the guys who are doing the juicy processing, the $200K a month or more, Clover can't do it. And so let's fight. Happy to fight with you. Email me. And one thing that's really important about this is they're agnostic with payments. So these are the payment providers that they're working with. They do work with primarily with PayFacto, but they do have these connections as well, so they can get in there and negotiate with them on kind of what the processing looks like and how to get that going. If you were going to compare it, someone is asking the other, like Talik. Talik is still a great full-service restaurant software. I absolutely love Talik. I'm actually a huge fan of it, but it's still great for that small one location, few stations, and not much complexity. They're still building out their software, and they're doing really well at that, and Talik is growing every single day. I just think that Veloce is very much ahead of the curve when you're looking for integrations, billing integrations, back office management that high-end restaurants have. So that's a big piece that's helpful. If you compare it in cost, the Toast Aloha Micros is significantly less expensive from a hardware perspective when it comes to Micros and Aloha. Toast has their own processing, which is actually very expensive. They typically give a lot of their hardware and software or their hardware for free, then they have a heavy software fee, but their processing is expensive. So you're going to win the processing gains here. And again, it's going to make you competitive. You can board. I'm not sure if you can board with TSYS. You might be able to board TSYS through a gateway. Someone just asked me that. Vantage WorldPay, not exactly sure. So again, reach out to me and I'll get you specifics on that. But then the reason I put this screen here is this is what I know so far. So feel free to reach out to me if you guys want to learn on how we can integrate with other programs. They're a fast-growing team, so I'm sure they're going to bring on other processors. This is a little bit condensed, so I do apologize. I'll get you the full version, but I do want to talk about a few features that are really cool. They have a cocktail tower where basically it measures the drinks that are coming out. So if you put in a beer or a liquor, or you put in basically a tap on the software, it only lets you pour as much as you're allowed to, which is great for bars, that are losing a lot of revenue to their bartenders over pouring. If you don't know that world, it is actually a huge problem. I was a bartender in college at a big sports bar. It was one of the biggest problems they had is over pouring and actually losing all that alcohol. And if you look at cities like Salt Lake City, or you're looking at Utah, where they actually have strict laws on how much is poured when it comes to liquor, they have these tools that actually make it easy for you to actually measure each pour and not over pour for people, which again, it might not seem important to you, but it is very important to business owners who are trying to save money, people who have multi-location, they need to know how much inventory is coming in and out of their business. This is a key differentiator that makes this product pretty damn awesome. They also have the bump screen. So for QSR, fast casual, they have the bump screen that's really easy to use. It's what you would see like a Panera, if you see like a Habit Burger, Wendy's, any of these kind of, QSR, the bump screen is integrated with the system. It also has a kitchen printer, so pretty straightforward and easy to use. So I'm going to leave David's info for you. David and I are working together. We have a lot of our partners already signed up and selling, but I want to put his information if you want to reach out. Just mention Boomtown, mention my name. He'll know where you came from, and that will get you, accelerating a little faster in the program. And then David and I will set up some kind of program around, maybe a training and a little bit more information for the group. I'll make sure to set that up in the, in the email that I send out. All right, so let's do some updates on Point. Again, we can go back to Veloce, and I'll make sure you guys get information on that as well as Manglement and Swipe Simple. A lot of you have signed up with our Point Reseller channel. Some are new, some have been with us for the last few years, which is really exciting. We're still moving, but they have made some changes as a company, right? So they have Point Capital. The reason I'm bringing this up is I really do care about our resellers. I really want you to do well. A lot of you might think that Boomtown is this middleman, but the truth is, we're here because we actually have great partnerships and we excel greatly with our partnerships. And the reason is because we actually are transparent and we want you to see what's happening in the marketplace and we want you to be prepared for that. So Point Capital, your merchants might get actually flashed information about they can join the Point Capital program. They're your merchant. I truly believe that. This is your merchant. If you brought this merchant to Point, it is your merchant. So what you should do is you should reach out to Point. I can give you contact information. If your merchant signs up for a capital program, you should get commission on that. And they can come fight me on that. I'm available to fight. I'm in California. Come find me. And the other piece is PayFac. They're selling directly to merchants. If you go to their website, they have this 2.3% flat. If your merchants see this, be prepared for that. I don't want them. I've told them very explicitly they cannot solicit your merchants. If they do solicit your merchants, please reach out to me immediately. I mean that. It's actually it's in our agreement they cannot solicit to your merchants. They might solicit to you to go work with a PayFac, but the truth is 2.3% processing. I don't understand how that rate is. I think they're losing money on that. So be prepared to sell against that if your merchant or your prospect brings that up. It's frustrating because, again, it doesn't create a great partnership. And that's why I brought in Swipe Simple and why we've done well with them is because they won't become a PayFac. They're too smart to become a PayFac. They're an actually awesome organization that's really focused around their partners and building great relationships. There's features still to come. I know that they're working on inventory management, virtual terminal, and surcharge. I haven't seen these features released recently. I know I get a lot of questions about it, so I do apologize. I don't have any timeline. I'm not getting a lot of information from their dev team on what their timeline is. But again, feel free to reach out if you have questions. Let's just jump on a call too. If you feel like this is frustrating for you, I can understand. I personally don't think it's right that they're going to sell to merchants directly. But everybody has their own motives. Everybody has their own interest in that, and that's respectable. So I respect Point as a company, but I also care for our resellers. I want you guys to be, prepared for seeing this type of stuff and your merchants seeing this, and then not getting kind of blindsided by it. So let's get ahead of it. Let's learn how to actually communicate with our merchants if they do say, well, Point's going to give me 2.3% flat processing, which I still don't believe. Look at the terms of service, and it's just not. I don't know. It's not really compelling to me. So it does frustrate me because we've worked hard to sell a lot of Point with you guys. I know that you've worked hard, and we're still going to sell a lot of Point. We're still going to sell a lot of Smart Terminal together. But that's just kind of what I think about the whole thing. So again, let's jump on the call. Happy to walk through with you guys and keep things moving. One thing too, I still get this question all the time. Just want to bring it up. Zero Pay is still the most common cash discount app on the Smart Terminal today. It's still kicking butt. So just putting it out there because it is a common question that we get. But again, Zero Pay, reach out to me if you want more information on it. That is the most reliable cash discount app. Yeah, it's had some bugs here and there, like any software. It's had problems here and there. But they have a grown-up team. They work hard. They have a lot of engineers. So when things happen, they're ahead of it. Nothing's perfect, but I'm just excited to see how much momentum they've had and how we haven't gotten a lot of support issues on zero pay recently. Besides that, reach out to me, joey@goboomtown.com. You can text me. You can always call me. I'm always in meetings, so feel free to text me because I can just jump out, and it's easy for me to jump on the call. But thanks everybody for joining today. Really appreciate it. Again, you'll get the deck, you'll get the recording, you'll get everything you need. Have a great rest of the week, and reach out to me if you need anything. And happy selling. Thanks a lot, everybody.